What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Braves Country News. Today's episode, we're going to be a little short, trade possibility that could be happening this offseason. And I know this is probably one of the biggest ones Braves fans have been tuning into just because of the magnitude of this player. But there's been reporting that the Red Sox could be moving away from their marquee player, Mookie Betts. Yes, the Mookie Betts. And let's just dive into it. Honestly, Mookie Betts, 27 years old. That's the big key. He's played 5 full years in the MLB, and at 27 years old, that's insane. He's already got a great amount of experience under his belt. He won a World Series with the Red Sox in 2018. It's just crazy what kind of magnitude this player would bring to any team, including the Red Sox. So, he just transforms any kind of lineup just with the ability that he has, not only as a hitter, but as a runner and fielder and everything. So the Red Sox, they're in a big payroll predicament. They don't want to pay the luxury tax for another season. And JD Martinez also opted into his contract for the 2020 season, which would mean if they brought Mookie Betts back on the projected arbitration that he's supposed to get, then they'll have to pay the luxury tax again. And he's actually projected to make a record amount of money in 2020 for arbitration. It would be they're projecting him to make $27.7 million just in an arbitration, which would obviously be a record by a long shot. And see what I'm having trouble deciding is, I feel like if we brought him on, we would have to extend him, but you could also make it in a sense to where it could just be a 1-year rental. We could just eat that $28 million and just have $28 million left over for 2021 if it doesn't work out. But I feel like if we're bringing in Mookie Betts, we're going to want to extend him long term for sure. And, just talking about the career of Mookie Betts so far, he's got a career slash line of a 301 average, a 374 on base percentage, and a 519 slugging, which brings his OPS to almost 900 for his career at 8.93. Last season, kind of a down year, I guess, from his MVP season, which, was pretty expected. It's hard to hit 350 back-to-back years this day and age in the MLB. But last year, he had 29 home runs with 80 RBIs with a slash line of a 295 average, 391 on base percentage, 524 slugging with a 915 OPS. And you can just go on and on and on about the accolades he's already gotten in his short career. 27 years old, he's already a four-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 3-time Silver Slugger, and he won the 2018 MVP in the AL. And then kind of talking about like what a trade would look like for Mookie Betts from the Atlanta Braves. So I was researching earlier and I figured out that Bleacher Report re-ranked all of the MLB farm systems after the conclusion of the minor league season this past year. And the Red Sox ended up dead last in their farm system, which kind of seems pointing towards the way of a rebuild coming for them soon, which would make sense for them to move Mookie at this time now, because with the farm system that they have now, they're going to need to get some prospects and some big time prospects to turn that around. And trading Mookie Betts is a great way to bring in prospects for the future, because I feel like a mock trade for Mookie Betts to the Braves would include Ender Inciarte, of course, because they would need immediate major league outfield help with losing Mookie, are the Braves' #1 prospect, Christian Pache. And it would kill me. It would kill me to see Christian Pache go. He's one of my favorite minor league system guys right now. But what you hope with Christian Pache, you hope he develops into a player like Mookie Betts. So I feel like a trade from Pache going for Mookie in this deal would be acceptable. And since the Red Sox are dead last in farm system rankings, they're going to need an insane amount of prospect haul from just any kind of trade. And a trade for Mookie Betts would definitely bring in an insane amount of prospect haul just because of the magnitude of a player he is. So the trade would include Ender Inciarte. They would obviously need immediate outfield help, losing Mookie Betts, and Ender Inciarte would fill that gap. It would include a Braves #1 prospect, Christian Pache. hurts for me to say this deeply, to trade Christian Pache, but I mean, with a player like him, you hope he develops into Mookie Betts type level. So I feel like trading him for Mookie Betts is pretty acceptable. Mookie to the Braves would probably be the only thing that I would send Pache away for. And so, I mean, you just hope he develops into a player like Mookie Betts. So I feel like you can see him going out. And then it would also include a lot of minor league pitching. And then luckily for the Braves, we have one of the most deepest minor league pitching systems there is. I mean, you could see the three pieces you could see being like the marquee minor league starting pitchers would probably be Kyle Wright, who's our number 4 prospect, according to MLB.com, Bryce Wilson, who's our number 6 prospect, and Kyle Muller, who is our number 7 prospect. And this wouldn't be the last of the pitching. So it could either include one of those 3 big names and then another kind of lower level but still has decent potential, including Tucker Davidson, who is a number 13 prospect, and Trey Harris, who's a number 18 prospect. And I mean, that's the kind of mock trade I see happening, because you see the Red Sox get immediate outfield help with Ender Inciarte. They get an insane outfield prospect in Christian Pache, probably one of the best minor league guys like coming up right now. He's 20 years old. He's got insane pop, insane fielding ability. He can cover pretty much everywhere in center field, out in the outfield. I mean, and Kyle Wright, Bryce Wilson, Kyle Muller, they all have insane pitching potential. I mean, being included inside the top 10 for our Braves prospect rankings, according to MLB.com. And Tucker Davidson, Trey Harris, they still have potential. And Harris also has hitting potential too. He's not only a pitcher, but he can also hit too. But he mainly pitches. So if this trade went down, I feel like this would be one of probably the biggest trade ever in Braves history, without a doubt. I mean, it just puts an insane culture change on how we would already view the 2020 season. Because, I mean, we're obviously thinking we're going to win now in 2020. But if we trade for Mookie, then it's going to make a sense of like an immediate win now. Like we're putting ourselves in a position to where we have to win now with the squad that we have, because we don't want to blow any more chances with what we got as a squad. And I know there's still a lot more years ahead of us with our farm system, but bringing in a guy like Mookie, he can help develop our younger guys and the ones that we didn't trade away. Because in this trade, we'd also be keeping Drew Waters, and that outfield with Acuna, Betts, and Drew Waters in the future would dominate for years to come. And an insane power bat in the middle of our lineup with Mookie Betts to complement Acuna, Freeman, and Ozzie would just terrorize the league in 2020. It would. And through his first full 5 seasons, he almost has a 40 WAR. Averaging 8 WAR a season through your first 5 years of your career is unheard of. That's like almost Mike Trout-esque right there. Seriously. I mean, including 2018 when he won MVP, he almost had an 11 WAR, a 10.8 WAR. Insane. It's insane. And also in 2019, he had a 6.9 WAR, which I think is pretty nice. And also, probably sort of to wrap up this video, an extension, if we did decide to extend Mookie Betts, which I hope we would do if we ended up trading for him, obviously just because of the amount of capital we'd be giving up for him. It would probably be in the realm of $30+ million a year, of course, because he's already going to be making $28 million in arbitration this year. And probably look between like 6, like at the minimum 6 years to like maximum like 8 or 9. I mean, it's just with a player like this, you already see how dominant he's been at such a young age. You just only hope he can continue it in his later years, in which I feel like with a player like how Mookie Betts is, he definitely will be able to continue up that stretch. And just saying, I mean, Mookie Betts to Atlanta would bring such an insane amount of hype to this Braves team. So after breaking all this it seems like a trade for Mookie Betts is entirely possible. I mean, probably the most likely team to get a trade happen for Mookie Betts would definitely be the Braves, just including our insane prospect capital that we have and a dire need for the Red Sox to improve their farm system. I feel like a Mookie Betts trade to Atlanta would make the most sense for not only the Braves, but for the Red Sox. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Braves Country News, breaking down a possible Mookie Betts trade to Atlanta. I mean, Braves Country, all I'm saying is if this happens, we're going to be looking really, really, really nice come 2020. And I know we will definitely be turning some heads and everything like that coming in. So I'm Turner Markwalter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode, and shop on, baby.